Before this whole thing started, I just floated through life. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but my life didn't start until the world came to an end.
Sunset Overdrive is an insane open-world third-person shooter. The game was developed by the studio Insomniac Games, the same studio of the new PlayStation Spider-Man game. But look how curious, this is an Xbox exclusive game. Well, not just Xbox, but also Windows. It was released originally in 2014 to Xbox One, and in 2018 it received a version to Windows. That was really welcome, because this game is really good. Embrace the chaos of Sunset City through a hyper-colorful, post-apocalyptic single-player campaign and 2 bonus expansions, Mystery of Mul Rig and Dawn of the Rise of the Fallen Machines. Outgun crazed mutants, homicidal robots, and villainous thugs on your journeys with the included weapons pack. The gameplay is fast, fluid, and dynamic with many features like grinding, everywhere in the streets, bouncing on cars, tires, wall riding, and much more, making the gameplay really fun. The combat is really good. As you move as fast as you can, there will be many different weapons you can use, each one with their own style.
Alright, nerds, this ends now!
I sense some epic missions in my future.
To battle!
You called me. So here I am.
Control is a third-person shooter game with a lot of personality. Its structure is like a Metroidvania game. As you advance, more skills you'll get, and with that, you'll be able to reach new areas that you couldn't before. The game is set in the same universe of Alan Wake. Even got a DLC about Alan Wake. That's really good too. Both games were developed by the same studio, Remedy Entertainment, and it was released in 2019 to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows, and later a version to Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 5 was also released. The gameplay of the game is really fun, fluid, and addictive. As you get a new skill, a new world of possibilities will unlock before you, allowing you to use it in combat, or even to reach new areas. And about combat, the game got many different weapons, and all of them can be upgraded and changed with items you'll be finding along the game. What makes the progression really satisfying. And the storytelling is insane, with great characters and a mystery feeling that will get you really hooked for a long time.
Fair warning. This is gonna be weirder than usual. Can't be helped. My brother was just a kid when they took him. They thought I'd never find this place, that I'd forget about him. They were wrong.
Bridge of Spirits is an amazing action-adventure game that deserves your attention. It was developed by the studio Ember Lab and released in 2021 to PlayStation 4 and 5, but nowadays the game is also available on Xbox One and Series and Windows, and you really need to play this game.
And corruption are all that remain here. Turn back.
A story-driven action-adventure combining exploration with fast-paced combat. Untangle the past as Kinna, a young spirit guide in search of the sacred mountain shrine. Help free the spirits trapped in a forgotten village with the help of the Rod, her adorable yet powerful spirit companions.
The land has begun to heal. Is this your doing? You carry the same energy that flows through these roots.
A game with amazing visual style, beautiful landscapes, an immersive soundtrack, and a great gameplay that is kind of similar to Souls-like games, but with its own style. So if you're searching for an amazing action-adventure experience, this game won't let you down.
Are you hiding? Why are you here? You pretend to care for these spirits, but really, you only serve yourself.
Bulletstorm is an absolute hidden gem. It's a first-person shooter game with a lot of charisma and amazing mechanics. It was developed by the studio People Can Fly and released originally in 2011. But in 2017, a remaster version was released, and now it's available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 3 and 4, Xbox 360 and 1, Windows, and even on VR systems such as PlayStation VR 2 and MetaQuest 2 and 3. Step into the boots of Grayson Hunt after a crash landing on an old resort planet forces him to make a hard choice: survival or revenge. The best part of the game is by far the gameplay. With an insane combat, it seems a sort of Gears of War in some moments. Even the running system is similar, but the combat is also a sort of score game. Certain types of ways to kill the enemies, you'll earn more points, and with these points you can buy upgrades for your weapons or gadgets. And there are many: rifle, revolver, grenade launcher, and more. So if you're searching for a unique and fun game, this is the one for you.
I've long waited for this moment. With your death, I will find peace.
Batman Arkham Origins is a game set in the same universe of the other Batman Arkham games. But this one is kind of forgotten because it was developed by another studio, WB Games Montreal and Splash Damage. So many people never even tried this game. But believe me, this game deserves your attention.
Kill him and I'll pay you whatever you want. Make him suffer and I'll double it.
The game was released in 2013 to PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii U, and Windows, and unfortunately there's no new versions to the new consoles, what makes it harder for consoles players play it, for example. But for PC players, it's still a great Batman game experience. The Arkham story begins. Batman Arkham Origins features a pivotal tale set on Christmas Eve where Batman is hunted by 8 of the deadliest assassins from the DC Comics universe. Players become an early career Batman as he encounters for the first time many of the characters that shape his future, all set in the same style of Batman Arkham City, in an immersive open world with an insane combat style and the insane stealth mechanics.
You're not some hardened vigilante. You're a young man with a trust fund and too much anger.
I am the reason the criminals breathe easier when the sun rises. I'm on your side.
My side? My side works within the law.
Death's Door is an isometric action-adventure game that mixes Metroidvania with action-adventure. The studio that brought us the game was the Acid Nerve. It was released in 2021 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, Nintendo Switch, and Windows, and eventually a version to iOS and Android was also released. Reaping souls of the dead and punching a clock might get monotonous, but it's honest work for a crow. The job gets lively when your assigned soul is stolen, and you must track down a desperate thief to a realm untouched by death, where creatures grow far past their expiry. A game with a lot of charisma, an original and fun game, with nice combat moments, great puzzles, good soundtrack, and a fun progression, with powers, upgrades, secret items, and swords, making you always feel like you're stronger, what make all games even better. So I'm sure that if you like isometric action games, this one will surely please you. Nine Souls is an amazing and unique hardcore Metroidvania game. It was developed by the studio Red Candle Games and released in 2024 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series, Mac OS, Nintendo Switch, and Windows, and it deserves your attention. Embark on a journey of Eastern fantasy. Explore the land once home to an ancient alien race, and follow a vengeful hero's quest to slay the Nine Souls, formidable rulers of this forsaken realm. The game is set in a structure similar to classic Metroidvania games, an immersive and complex world that will let you explore as much as you want. But of course, you won't be able to do much in the start, so you'll need to explore for resources and upgrades that will allow you to go even further in the areas. The combat is inspired by Sekiro, set in the style of deflection-focused combat, but it's really satisfying. The boss fights are really good, some harder, some easier, but you can also play in the easy mode that I don't recommend. If you want the true experience, just choose the normal mode, and I assure you it may be hard, but will be really satisfying to advance.
Assassin.
Admit it, I nearly had you.
He was a friend, a brother.
What did I miss?
Only the first hour of training.
A pity. The boy has so much potential, but so little discipline.
I have tracked the Templar as far as this coast, but I fear the rest is up to you, my friend.
Assassin's Creed Rogue is an incredible game of the series, but unfortunately, it was forgotten and many fans of the series never played it. The game was developed by Ubisoft and released in 2014, in the same year of Assassin's Creed Unity, the new Assassin's Creed game made for the new generation. So now you have an idea why this game is not that famous. Rogue was released to PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and later on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, all with a better performance and details. The story follows Shay Corman, an assassin that turns into a Templar, the only Assassin's Creed we play as a Templar. But the gameplay is really similar to Assassin's Creed 4. That's a game in the same style actually, so it'll share the same gameplay, progression style, and some characters. The world gives you a lot of possibilities of places to explore, with islands, cities, and much more. As you sail around, it's an immersive world in your ship, battling and exploring for resources and more. So if you never played it, it's really good to this day.
You made me slaughter innocents! I will not let this happen again!
And now the man I once called brother is coming to hunt us all.
Fine line between mercy and justice, ain't that right, Hazel Flood? You chose a hard road for yourself.
Hazel, please, it isn't safe!
We got a long journey ahead.
I'm always fast enough!
South of Midnight is a game released not so much time ago, in April of 2025, a game developed by the studio Compulsion Games, and released on Xbox Series XS and Windows. As Hazel, you will explore the mythos and encounter creatures of Southern folklore in a macabre and fantastical world. When disaster strikes her hometown, Hazel is called to become a weaver, a magical mender of broken bonds and spirits. The game mixes combat, platforming, exploration, and a good story, all that with many animations made in stop motion. What added a lot of personality to the game. Despite the combat is simple, it's really satisfying, especially playing in the hard mode, because it'll make you master all the abilities you have. You won't have a lot, but the game will keep giving you new tools, mechanics, and upgrades to the end of the game, what makes it really fun to play. The game also got really cool boss fights with nice stories behind, and another very good thing about the game is the soundtrack with exclusive, really good songs made for the game.
It's not safe out there, Hazel. If I was the one missing, she wouldn't stop looking.
Crouton?
What the? And this ain't even the weirdest thing I've seen today. I'm seeing these things.
You can see strands. And now you're looking for a creature. You're a weaver, aren't you?
I'm trapped here. In this nightmare. I write to escape. Every word is a step forward. Into darkness.
It's right up your alley.
The victim was one of their own. FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale.
Alan Wake 2 is the sequel of the original game released in 2010. That's also an excellent game. But Alan Wake 2 was released in 2023, and in my opinion didn't get all the attention it deserved, because it's a masterpiece, one of the best horror games ever released. It was developed by the studio Remedy Entertainment and released to Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and Windows. It was even competing for the Game of the Year in 2023, but Baldur's Gate 3 won it. But Alan Wake 2 won the award of Best Direction and Best Narrative. Different of the first game, here it's much more than combat and storytelling. There's so much more to explore and discover, with much more puzzles, possibilities, connections, even with control. That's another excellent game. There are combat moments, but is really different of the first game that was faster, with a lot of ammo and enemies everywhere. Here it is slower, but also way more immersive in the fights. So if you want to play a game with a dense story and impressive moments, this is the game.
Someone knew they were here. Was playing a game with them.
The killer left a message.
There's something I'm forgetting. Something important.
Max. My name is Max.
In Mad Max, you begin with nothing. Your car, your family, your life. Everything has been taken from you. Now all that's left is your will to survive.
Mad Max is an immersive open-world game in the beloved, but kind of forgotten nowadays, world of Mad Max, an insane and deadly world. The game was developed by the studio Avalanche Studios and released to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Mac OS, and PC in 2015, 10 years ago, and it's to this day a great open-world experience. In case you're a fan of the movies, it's going to be even more immersive for you, because you know how it all works, since the dangers, enemies, and the world itself, but if you don't know the series, it's still going to be really good, as the game will tell you all you need to know. The gameplay mixes exploration, combat, racing, combat in the car, and more. The melee combat is really similar to the Batman Arkham games, but with its own mechanics. One of the most important features of the game is your car, as it's what you're going to use for your exploration. So you can improve every part of the car that will make it feel as you're always making progress in the gameplay. So if you didn't play it, go ahead, you won't regret.
The first thing you must do is build a new car.
Here she lies, the magnum opus.
This is your magnum opus. Acquiring necessary gear throughout your journey allows you to upgrade your vehicle. These upgrades will let you build and customize your magnum opus.
Nazi scum.
You stayed with us for 14 years.
The Nazis rule the world now.
Wolfenstein: The New Order is the reboot of the first FPS series ever created, coming 1 year before of Doom by the same creators. The reboot was developed by the studio Machine Games, the same studio that brought us Indiana Jones in 2024, another great game. But in Wolfenstein, it's really different. You're a soldier of the Second World War. But the main point here is that Germany won the war, making the whole world bow to their wills. But you, along with other soldiers of the resistance, will keep fighting till the end, trying to bring down the new world government. The gameplay is fast, with a lot of enemies, many weapons and possibilities, and different of the new Doom games. Wolfenstein got more cutscenes and dialogues, with a good storytelling and really interesting characters, making all the experience to be really pleasant. So if you're searching for a different story FPS to play, this one is really good. And there's a sequel, Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, in the same style, and is really good too.
I'll find the resistance. I'll find them and I'll help them fight.
B.J. Blazkowicz.
I thought I was a goner. And here you are, back from the dead. Ready to set things straight, Wyatt.
We are finally strong enough to strike and set operations. The days of scurrying like rats are over.
I tell you, it takes a lot of rage to stare across 8 realms of hell, an ocean of demons, into the eyes of the Red Judge, and still think.
Metal Hellsinger is an amazing and atmospheric rhythm boomer shooter inspired in the new Doom games. It was developed by the studio The Outsiders and released in 2022 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One and Series, and Windows, and is a very fun experience if you like brutal boomer shooter games. Slay to the rhythm of metal and vengeance on an infernal journey through the 8 hells. Make them fear the beat. Metal Hellsinger is a rhythm FPS bursting with demons, badass weapons, and heavy metal music. The core of the game, as all boomer shooter, is the combat that's brutal and responsive. And as you now know, it's based in a rhythm style, so your shots will cause more damage on the demons if you shoot in the beat of musics. That's another excellent point of this game. Insane metal musics with stars of rock and metal music around the world.
Soon she'll wake and paint again. Paint a new number, ticking down every year. One stroke.
Claire Obscur Expedition 33 was a surprise to everyone. The game was released in April of 2025. Nobody was expecting much of this game, but what the studio Sandfall Interactive delivered us was a true video game masterpiece. The game is available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, GeForce Now, and Microsoft Windows, and in this moment, it is available on Xbox Game Pass. So if you're a user of Game Pass, even if you think you're not going to like the game, try it. You'll be surprised. Explore a world of wonders inspired by Belle Époque France and battle unique enemies in this turn-based RPG with real-time mechanics. Despite it's a game set in a turn-based combat, it's the most different one I've ever played. It's even like a Souls-like game sometimes. You need to dodge enemies' attack, or even parry. What's harder, but will reward you with mana points. So I assure you, in less than 30 minutes, you'll be hooked to the story of the game. And from there on, it'll just get better and better, with a nice story and deep storytelling and a complex character building.
The Makers felt a weapon as powerful as the Slayer should be guided.
They lied to us. Now he has a leash.
He's not one of us.
Doom: The Dark Ages is the ultimate Doom game, released in May of 2025. The game is a true Doom experience. Some new fans may don't like some changes they did, and believe me, I was one of those players, but when I understood and mastered the mechanics, I fell in love for the game, as it's a really brutal experience. The game was developed by the studio ID Software, the legendary Doom studio, and released to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Windows, and is available on Xbox Game Pass. Doom Slayer is as brutal as never, fighting hordes of demons with his shield, saw, and weapons. And the shield is an amazing creation for this game, as it's the base of the gameplay beyond the classic and new weapons. You can defend yourself, parry enemies' attacks, use it to dash in enemies, throw it in many places in enemies, with defend objectives such as stun an enemy, or make a long jump in a specific place. Doom: The Dark Ages, in my opinion, is not the best Doom, but is one of my favorite, with a brutal gameplay and innovations for the series that I can't think about this game without. So, you must play it. By the way, I just got 1000 G on Xbox. It's not hard, and there's no online mode, so it was really pleasant doing 100% of the game.
Our enemy is divided. The time is now.
They fear him, and so your dominion over hell is not absolute.
Avoid the Slayer. Focus on breaking humans first.
BioShock 2 is the least played game of the series. Many people didn't play it because it's not of the same director, but the first and last game were developed by the director Ken Levine, and BioShock 2 by Jordan Thomas. But it's still an immersive and amazing video game.
Let's go out to play, Daddy.
The game was developed by the studios 2K and Digital Extremes and released in 2010 to PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Mac OS, and Windows. But nowadays it's also available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One in a remastered version of the trilogy BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite. Players step into the boots of the most iconic denizen of Rapture, the Big Daddy, as they travel through the decrepit and beautiful fallen city, chasing an unseen foe in search of answers and their own survival. An immersive game with a unique gameplay, mixing horror, combat, and an insane storytelling.
Searched for control, a way to pull through. But in darkness they came, through stormy black seas they raided these shores. Do you still hear his screams?
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a dark action-adventure game that mixes combat, puzzles, a deep and great storytelling, and some nice scenes. The game was developed by the studio Ninja Theory and released in 2017 to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Windows, but eventually was also released on Nintendo Switch. And if you're playing in the current generation, there's an update for a better performance, even on PC actually. The gameplay of the game is really simple. Even the combat is not like a hack and slash or anything like that. But the game will hook you really fast if you like immersive stories. In the game, you control Senua, a girl who's fighting to save the soul of her dead lover, and she suffers from schizophrenia. So during the whole game, you'll keep hearing voices from her head telling Het to do or not do things. And the audio design of the game is in another level, because it all feels really well connected. So if you never played, give it a chance, and there's a sequel already. But in my opinion, it's not as good as the first game.
To these gods you cannot pray. They can break you, but not your promise. Through his darkness you will find him. In your sword still beats a heart. You fought for love unspoiled by your darkness within.
I'm trapped. I know what's real.
Go to Wonderland.
Alice Madness Returns is an action-adventure game mixed with a hack and slash, all set in an even darker universe of Alice in the Wonderlands. The game was developed by the studio Spicy Horse Games and was released in 2011 to Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Windows, and so far didn't get a remastered version, but is a game that deserved it. Despite that you can play on Xbox One or Series, it's on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. In the game, we visit the grim reality of Victorian London and travel to the beautiful yet ghastly Wonderland to uncover the root of Alice's madness. A game with a cool story, a fun combat, with nice action moments, interesting puzzles, exploration, and very immersive scenarios that represents really well all the horror and madness the game needs. So in case you never played it and like cool action-adventure games, this is a game that you gotta play. I promise you won't regret.
The destruction of Wonderland is the destruction of me.
Now a new evil reigns.
Help me, Alice.
We need your help!
What's happening? I'm in hell!
Everything that defined me is gone. I thought if we defeated him, we could save the world.
The first Berserker Kazan is an amazing action RPG, a hardcore game with Souls-like features. It was developed by the studio Nebel and released in March of 2025 to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Windows. And if you're a fan of hardcore RPG games, this one gotta be in your list. The player will become Kazan, the great general of the Pel-Los Empire, who overcame death and sets out to reveal the incidents that led to his downfall and seek vengeance on his enemies. A game with a unique visual style, with a lot of charisma, what makes the experience beyond immersive unique. As most of action RPG games, the combat is the peak here. It's a fast-paced combat with many weapons, and through the game you'll step in many scenarios, fighting many different enemies, inclusive, absolute, insane boss fights that if you're up to the challenge will be really insane to fight.
With your anger, what would come of it?
Tunic is an incredible action-adventure game. Its visuals and gameplay is loosely based in the Zelda series, especially the old ones, but this game is original in its own way. It was developed by the Studio Tunic team and published in 2022 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, Nintendo Switch, and Windows. Explore a land filled with lost legends, ancient powers, and ferocious monsters in Tunic, an isometric action game about a small fox on a big adventure. A game that will teach you how important it is to read the manual, but don't worry, it's part of the game. As you explore, you'll find pages of the manual, and with that discover possibilities and features. But actually you won't be able to read it, as it is an exclusive language, but by the figures you'll understand a lot about the game. It all mixes combat, exploration, mysteries, and more mysteries. It's a kind of Metroidvania. As you explore, you'll get new tools and gadgets, and with it you'll be able to reach new areas, with new enemies, puzzles, and bosses, so I highly recommend you to play this one.